Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are watching Dark. This is the 7th episode of the 3rd season. Hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. If you'd like to watch today's full episode, it is available for free in the link in the description below. Just click on it, put the password in, and enjoy. So we just seen the apocalypse occur last episode, and it's going to be interesting to see, obviously, what we have in store for us today. Now, obviously, we've seen the apocalypse happen in multiple times in different episodes throughout the show, but this time it seems to be a meaningful one. You know, we did see Marta get grabbed and obviously brought to, you know, to Adam. Now, Adam was explaining that basically, you know, the apocalypse will occur and it'll just keep happening over and over again. It's infinite. And the reason is because what's inside the belly, the baby. And if, you know, if he could destroy the baby before it's born, and obviously a piece of her and a piece of him and them two combined, as one was from one world and one was from the other, all in the same sequence, then when the apocalypse hits, it will destroy each world simultaneously, and it'll be the end of everything. It'll be complete darkness. That's what he wants, that's what he wishes. Now, she was crying, she was screaming, don't do it, don't do it. He looked like he had a bit of an emotion on his face, but ultimately he went through his plan. He's been planning this for years, and he's gone, he's done it, he's ticked it, he's knocked it off. Now, I was saying, you know, going through the show, I've been saying I'd be on Adam's side if he had to pick one of the two. Only because Adam's been in it longer, there's more characters that we know kind of on his side, and I just want Jonas to get back into his original timeline. He's been missing for so long. Do you know what I mean? I just wanted everybody to return home. Ultimately, my whole thing on the show is if I could pick it, it would be everybody to end up back where it was, full circle all the way around, repeating again back in 19. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if that's going to happen. Don't know if we're going to get anywhere near that. But what I am saying is, obviously, I've always chose the Jonas to return home, and he's always kind of been on the side of Adams of achieving that. So that's why I kind of like stuck on that side. Also because he's apparently the dark side and the show's called Dark. That was another reason why. But if you took last episode as the sole principle, it seemed like Adam was a bad guy, wanted to destroy everything and everyone and all human existence. We had Eve on the other side trying to obviously get everybody into positions to prolong everybody and keep them all alive and move forward. So it was interesting to see the difference between them two there. Even though recently, as of late, it looks like Eve wasn't really great as well. And Nigid did kill Jonas. So I'm excited to see what we've got in store for us today. Like I said, the apocalypse occurred last episode. The aftermath are going to be now, and I'm excited for it. Thanks for checking out today's episode. If you do enjoy it, please smash a like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, let's jump into today's episode.
Was ist Realität? Wien Schrödinger hat für diese Frage ein überaus interessantes Gedankenexperiment konstruiert. Schrödingers Katze.
Des Wellencharakters in der Quantenwelt. Das Atom gleichzeitig zerfallen und nicht zerfallen. Bis wir es durch unsere Betrachtung in einen definitiven Zustand zwingen. Die Eigenschaften tot und lebendig existieren im Mikrokosmos also gleichzeitig. Ich mach das nicht gut.
Wird es uns gelingen, die Zeit zu spalten und sie in zwei unterschiedliche, gegensätzliche Richtungen laufen zu lassen? Viele unterschiedliche Realitäten wären dann nebeneinander möglich.
Martha! Adam und die anderen, sie haben dich belogen. Er will dir nicht helfen. Er wird dich töten. In der Zukunft. Er will die Apokalypse nicht verhindern.
Yeah, if she goes with him, then the origin won't happen. They only have a baby because she runs inside, do you know what I mean? And they go to the timeline together. I've had this Schrodinger's cat, obviously, being explained to us in the Big Bang Theory, and it's basically like he was just saying there, you know, the cat's inside the box. Is it dead or is it alive? Well, you don't know. You know, it's an assumption until you open it. But if it is, you know, you've got two realities, and how many different ones can you actually, you know, be in? And the interesting thing is, if you look at it here, we know that the aftermath of the apocalypse, when she occurred to take Jonas with her, to take her to a timeline, was them ended up being together, having sex and having a baby. But he now has arrived here, Bartos, and stopped her from going inside, which will prevent their connection, their meeting, their travel, their baby. You know what I'm saying? So that was interesting as well. Because we did see last episode him run and go down the stairs, but we're never seeing like her side of it and what actually happened and why she didn't turn up, and it was showing like the parallel, you know, different sides of the realities. 1974. I feel like this is just like a new year for us in the show.
Dem Menschen fällt es schwer, den Tod zu akzeptieren. Sehnt sich vergeblich nach einem Weg, die Zeit zurückzudrehen. wenn Zeit relativ ist und nichts wirklich jemals vergangen und gleichzeitig die Überlagerung von verschiedenen Realitäten möglich ist, würde es uns gelingen, den Tod zu überlisten, indem wir einen Weg finden, das Leben zurückzuholen.
The thing is, he said that he was going to go and protect her as well, didn't he? You know, when he was speaking to her dad. She come to the cave because he wrote it down on that pad.
Dies ist voll Schmerz und Leid. Er wird sein Versprechen halten. Die Passage wird sich öffnen.
Oh, mate, they're baffling me here. Oh, is this how he gets his burns? That's how he gets him. I've always wondered what actually happened to him to get into that state.
Portal funktioniert, dann können wir es benutzen, um den Ursprung zu finden. Den einen Moment, der das hier alles ausgelöst hat. Wenn wir ihn gefunden haben, dann werden wir ihn vernichten. Und alles, was daraus entsteht, das ist das Paradies.
Ich will dein verficktes Paradies nicht. Ich will hier einfach nur weg.
It's mad to think, really, like, young Jonas and this Jonas have kind of been main cast throughout the whole show. Two Jonases, you know what I mean? Running in different timelines. Mate, who is this person? Why is she in everyone's timeline?
Glaube ich, es hört hier nie auf zu regnen. Ich bin Syria.
You reckon Adam sent her? You know what I mean? She's doing her bit.
Wir können morgen eine neue Versuchsreihe starten. Ich weiß, wir versuchen es schon lange. Du darfst die Hoffnung nicht verlieren.
See, that's the thing that you can't do. You can't give up. You can't lose hope. You can't lose faith. Do you know what I mean? If you first you don't succeed, you try and try again. You gotta stay positive. Haunts him to this day, that beam, doesn't it? He literally hates it. Don't blame him though. Oh, reckon he's thinking about doing it to himself. That's mad, that. That's the second time he's tried. Well, he's been hung and he's not died.
Du hast mir was versprochen. Adam hat mir was versprochen. Du kannst nicht sterben.
He's obviously had enough. But they all follow Adam because they all believe that the apocalypse should occur so that everyone gets saved. Everybody's consistently saying that.
Du kannst dir nicht das Leben nehmen. Weil es dein älteres Ich bereits gibt. Sie wird sich wieder öffnen. Und dann wirst du uns ins Paradies führen.
What happened to his sister or whoever it was that killed him? No, 4 now. But yeah, if you think about it, yeah, Agnes killed him. She shot him. And what was the reason for that? Did we get any future kind of explanation of why that needed to occur? Do you know what I mean? That's interesting. We would become friends before you betray me. And he was there. He was a loyalist to him as well until he found these missing pages. And then obviously he started to kind of like think against him and go against him. Now, I think it's interesting that we're diving all over the timelines here. Different, you know, years showing how people are progressing, what they're doing, the actions they're undertaking. I like how he just said that there. He could try and kill himself in many ways. We've seen it and Lost, you know. I think that Michael tried to kill himself a couple of times after he got off the island, and he said that the island prevented it from letting him do that. Do you know what I mean? And it's like here, no matter how many times he try and kill himself, someone will intervene. Someone will be here. Someone will stop him. You know, he can't kill himself because he exists in the future. Now, I don't know if Katerina don't exist in the future because the apocalypse happened and she wasn't in the bunker, so she technically died. So then when she come back in time, she had the ability to be killed because there was no her in the living. You know what I mean? So again, that was interesting how they said it. Maybe she was the only one that we could kind of say, like, hang on, does that actually make sense? But so far we're following it, it's good, and we'll see where it goes. And I'm sure the woman that introduced herself to Bartos as well, she has been in it in like 5-6 episodes in the show, but I don't think I've ever grasped what her name was or if it's ever been introduced, and if it has, I do apologise, but for me today, this was the first time she ever actually physically introduced herself to somebody. It's gonna be like Noah, I bet you.
Wie soll heißen? Hanno.
Hanno? Why is he looking like that? I don't know what name that is.
Mensch ist in der Lage, ein Ziel, so unerreichbar es auch erscheinen mag, über die Dauer eines ganzen Lebens zu verfolgen. Und liegt nicht jeder Fortschritt durch alle Zeiten in diesem unstillbaren Akt des...
It looks like an atom, that. Oh, Noah's with them now. There's 3 of them. Looks like they've done it. Oh, it's still not working. Close though.
Vielleicht will Claudia gar nicht, dass es funktioniert. Woher weiß sie all die Dinge, die sie weiß?
That's kind of true.
Nicht alles, was hier ist, gehört hierhin.
To be fair, she spoke to many versions of herself, hasn't she?
Claudia verheimlicht uns etwas.
Keine Ahnung, dass es dich oder die andere Welt gibt. Du musst ihn weiter auf seinem Weg geleiten. Die Materie. Sie darf noch nicht funktionieren. Du hältst den Knoten in deiner Welt aufrecht und ich in meiner.
Ich erinnere mich noch genau, was er gesagt hat. Wenn alles gelingt,
It'll be okay.
dann wird Regina leben.
Yeah.
Einfach nicht glauben, dass sie damit gemeint hat, dass sich ihr Leiden auf immer wiederholen soll. Es muss einen Weg geben, den Knoten zu lösen.
Aber weder Eva noch Adam kennen diesen Weg. Aber ich werde ihn finden.
That's good, because do you know what, right? I'm not gonna lie. I've always said that Adam and Eve both sound like they just waffle. Like, I don't feel like they've ever got like a consistent thing that sounds plausible. Look, she's pretending to be.
Noah beobachtet sie. Wir müssen vorsichtig sein.
Do you reckon she suspects something? Why she's hiding it, but she already knows that anyway, those blueprints.
Du musst ihn Claudia geben. Und sie muss ihn Tannhaus geben.
Actually, it does occur. She does turn up to Townhouse's place. She does give him the blueprint. She says that he's the one that has to create it. All the way back now.
Wir haben alles versucht, Bartosz. Sie wollte, dass sie Agnes heißt.
Agnes? No way, mate. Bartos is Agnes's mom, dad? No way. So Agnes is coming back. So I don't really understand. Well, I mean, I do understand that that's his dad, but like, he's what's his surname? Tiedelman. He's called Bartosz Tiedelman, yeah. But he's had a kid called Agnes, who's a Nielsen. So like, what? Jonas could be a Tiedelman then. I've been saying that the whole time. Like, he could technically be a Tiedelman. But I don't want to know. Like, it's interesting that because Hanno, is that Noah? Is that who it is? Does he change his name as he gets older? That's what I'm thinking. You got Noah and Agnes here, son of Bartos, which is interesting. Who then obviously, you know, he meets. Well, he meets Elizabeth, doesn't he? And he has Charlotte. Is that right? Which again is really interesting. But then we have the family extensions of the Nielsens with with who is it now? I can't remember. Oh, with Egon's kid getting with Agnes's son, Tronte, which then create the Nielsens, which then has Mikkel, Marta, you know, Magnus, then Jonas comes along. Like, it's mad, really, if you think about it. So technically, Bartosz existed way before Jonas existed. It had to go down a whole family timeline before everybody else was a thing, which is mad, isn't it? And when you think of it like that.
Paradies ist frei von Schmerz und Leid.
That's her kid, innit? Or is it? Oh, my head's fucking confused with this Claudia and Charlotte and a mum thing. Like, they prolong the T's in Charlotte. They say Charlotta, not Charlotte. Charlotte. You wouldn't know what to do, would you? Honestly, you really wouldn't. You wouldn't know where to go. What direction? Yo, he was intense then. Look at all the veins in his head. It's actually really ripped him as well. You know what I mean? He said everybody was on a mission. They all gone to their own places, do what they gotta do. He spent all those years trying to find her. Where have they took the kid though? Like, where did they actually take him? Oh god, here we go again. What the hell? Is that?
Ich suche Jonas.
Hat sich verändert.
But she has appeared in his timeline. Is this the one that we're seeing with blood on her when she was about to give birth? But obviously she had the kid, and the kid was his kid. I mean, his wife. How did that happen? Because he's gone through it all that time.
Celia.
Wie hast du uns gefunden?
That's a good question, that.
Da war diese alte Frau. Sie hat gesagt, sie weiß, wo du bist. Ich habe alles kaputt gemacht. Aber jetzt bin ich hier.
Tosh, mach ihn die Kammer zurecht.
Right, the thing is, we've not technically seen how that's physically happened to his face. Like, we've just had the insinuation of the travelling and doing this experiments. A lot has happened. Was it because he got burnt like he did in his arm, but then he's continued obviously trying to create the dark matter, and it's obviously done that to his face, you know what I mean? But like, if you look at it here again, it's well, I wouldn't say confusing, but I just use the word confusing because it kind of highlights like the head scramble of like the scenarios. But again, Bartosz here in this timeline has got with Celia and had 2 children, Anno and shit, I forgot the other one, a girl as well. Now, if you continue watching and seeing, she's died, obviously, in that birth, and we've progressed forward, and Hannah's gone back in time, got pregnant with Egon, moved forward, started to give birth, but then it looked like, well, she's bleeding, but she must have successfully had the baby, gone back in time, met Bartosz again, after Celia has died, and introduced her as a young kid again. So, like, I don't get it. So, like, if you look at it in this timeline here, Bartosz should have 2 children, a boy and a girl, and that girl, Hannah's kid, is their mum. You know what I mean? And again, I always get confused with the Charlotte storyline, but I'm pretty sure that Elizabeth and Noah are Charlotte's mum and dad. I'm pretty sure of it. He was like, look, mate, I'm your dad. This is your mum. We love you very much. Then we learned that obviously Noah and Elizabeth was together. And then what confused me is Charlotte had Elizabeth, and that's why you know what I mean? It's like all over the place, but like I'm sure it is. Every time it comes to them and the kids, I'm always thinking, is that a kid or not? I'm confused, or is that? But yeah, I'm sure that is. So we're all over the place, honestly. We're flicking across bare different timelines, figuring out everything. It's mad to see how all this kind of started as well. And we know that Claudia's killed Claudia and she's gone and she's diving over both timelines. She's making the decision. She's like, F you, Eve, you make no sense. F you, Adam, you make no sense. I'll decide what's going on. And if you look at it, she's been consistent as well in terms of not liking Adam. You know, she's always said ever since, like, she's been introduced, old Claudia in, like, the first season or whatever's, like, you know, don't trust him or whatever. If you do this, if you do that, she'll forge her own way. She knew it. She was the one that took the blueprint to Tinehouse in the first place. Get him to create the machine. And if you look at it here, you know, she's actually killed herself, gone in this timeline, got the blueprints off Eve, and she must have took it to him because it's obviously fashioned it and created it the first portal or whatever. It's pretty mad. Is that his mum?
Ja. Sie gehört nicht hierher.
Was soll das heißen?
Spielsteine müssen auf ihre Position.
You're killing her. Alright. Was she introduced when Toronto was there? And I was like, who's that girl? Why has she just been dropped in? With Agnes.
Ich bin weit gereist. Ich brauche einen Platz zum Schlafen.
Hanno?
Look, I knew it. I fucking knew Hanno was Noah. Have they met before? Or was this the first time?
Ich habe mich gefragt, wann du kommst. Claudia. Sie hat uns alle belogen. Die letzten Seiten, sie fehlen, sie finden. Sie werden dich zu Charlotte führen und endlich auch an dein Ziel. Sonnenuntergang folgt Sonnenaufgang. Wieder und wieder. Aber dieses Mal wird es der letzte Zyklus sein.
Parat. Er wird ihn reparieren.
Thing is, she told him this information that he's used again as he's got older for him in future self to do it again. It's all Claudia.
Jonas, du darfst die Hoffnung niemals verlieren.
Obviously really important then, but she only wanted Noah to find them. Look, and now we're back at the start, look.
Willst du nicht einsteigen? Ich hab dich all die Jahre gesucht.
Sie sind nicht mein Vater.
Es gibt keinen Menschen ohne Schuld. Keiner von ihnen hat einen Platz verdient in deinem Paradies.
Warum hast du mich hierher gebracht?
Die einzigen, die uns retten werden.
That's interesting.
Dieser Moment hier könnte sich niemals so wiederholen. Könnte nie das tun, was mein älteres Ich getan hat. Das, was sie wollte, jemals wollen könnte. Manchen Schmerz vergisst man nicht. Wie du niemals vergisst, auf welche Seite du wirklich gehörst.
Back to last episode. To be fair, I kind of gathered, like, with Adam, he was saying that he wanted to destroy everything, and she sounded like she wanted to save it, even though I didn't like both of them.
Das kann nicht sein.
Hallo Jonas.
See, it's her. She decided it. Like, it's interesting that, though. It's kind of what they were saying at the start. Schrodinger's cat, you know what I mean? Something can be living inside of the box and you can let the gases out that's in there. But, like, is it dead or is it alive? You'll never know until you open it and see it. And it's like him now with her. You know, he's put her there. He's made it disappear. Has he ended the cycle? Has he not? I don't know. He has to open it. He has to find out. Do you know what I mean? But, like, the interesting thing is if you're looking at it here, Claudia's returned. Now, she died in one of the episodes. It was like, what year is this one actually? Like, this is mate, we flicked over so many years in this episode. I can't remember if we set on a year that these guys are in. I honestly can't remember. But like, I know that in one of the episodes she died, but she died in I think in the future, maybe in the 50s areas. I think Egon found him, so it's about 1921 or something, around that section, because that's where Ulrich first went back, and that's where that young Egon was there, and he found the body in it. He was the one that was saying that she was in the office, she was talking to him and apologising for stuff, and he never really understood it, and she may have been an accomplice with Ulrich. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's her. She died then. I feel like this is way before it. But again, if you look, if you followed the episode, she stood there. You know, young Claudia stood there. Well, she's kind of old now as well. Not this old, but she's older. Like, we'll call her middle Claudia. Stood there with alternate world middle Claudia. Basically, they was following the plans that Eva was saying. You know, she's like, do this, this, and this. Don't let Jonas suspect a thing. Don't let the matter work. You know what I mean? We've got to prolong it a little bit. Don't let him know what we truly know. Do you know what I mean? And all this time, Noah suspected that she couldn't be trusted. That's what he was saying. She can't be trusted. Now, she also said, Claudia, the middle one, though, that, look, mate, you've got Jonas and you've got Eva, and, you know, I don't really know what side to choose, so I have to make up my own mind. Both of you are chatting, if I'm being totally honest. I'm not really too sure that any of it is correct, and I'll make my own mind up and pop to one of them. Then she impersonated one of them and obviously went to Eva and was speaking to her. Now, following this story and everything that's going on, you know, Claudia is kind of like main character or one of the people that puts things in motion. And I know I can't really explain what I fully mean by that, but like in my head I can kind of understand it, what I'm trying to say. It's like she went back and spoke to Eva and she got this blueprints, and then she's gone to Tanner house and she's given it him and he's created this machine. But then following all of this stuff, you know, she's the one that's come to Jonas and she's give him information and, you know, and told him to do this. And basically she said that he's got to defeat the Knot or only leave one or something like that. And then obviously, if you look again, she's connected towards Noah because he's searching for her pages and she's ripped them out and she's got them and he's the one that's killed her. Do you know what I'm saying? But then also, she's met her younger self and told her information and said that you got to do this, this, and this to save Regina. So, like, I feel like it's all her plan and everything that's kind of happened. The time is like, I know Jonas wants to defeat and destroy everything and whatnot, but like if you look at the principles and everything that's kind of going on, it's all Claudia's idea. Jonas was using Claudia's tapes, but also Jonas was using information from Claudia in a different bit as well, you know. So young Jonas, the one with the longer hair, the one in the young Marta, he was using her tapes when he was doing the dark matter. You got the older Jonas with the beard who was speaking to her, who had the thing, who got information off her then. You've got the future Jonas, obviously, basically giving Adam information. He's going around, he's killed the Claudia, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like she's a massive key into it and she's the one that's created it, and she's gone and spoke to Eva, who's given her that thing, who's created the time machine. So she's like the center, you know what I mean? She's technically the origin, if you think about it. Obviously they said it was a kid. It'd be interesting to see what actually happens. The unknowns, we've not seen them again. They started at the start of the season killing a few people. Can't remember what things that they'd taken off them. Don't know why it was them so specifically, the people that died. But then obviously if you move forward and look into it there, last episode they went in, they'd done the bits on both sides of the alternate like world, and then obviously we'd seen nothing in them today. But we kind of ended today's episode a little bit like yesterday's one, the last one, where she was sat down, Marta on the thing, and it was spinning around. But this time we actually seen her disappear before Claudia's come in. So, mate, it's going to be an exciting final episode, honestly. It's going to be really good. That's going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. I've got to say, fair play to the creators of this show, the writers, for putting everything together. You know, stories, timelines, characters, 3 characters of each person, past, present, future, flicking over about 15 different years in today's episode, making sure the story stays continuous throughout each timeline. Tying up stories, loopholes, you know, characters, bringing them back, and family trees. And to be honest, I think the family trees are a little bit confusing, but I definitely feel like it'd be interesting to sit down and see the connections of everybody. Today, obviously, we learned that Bartosz met Celia, and was she alright? The thing is what I'm trying to figure out, right? When Bartosz met her, she was in the woods, but she was in the woods wearing a yellow suit, which gives me an insinuation that she's time traveled back in time. Which is interesting, because obviously the power plant was an existing thing, and she's gone into the dark matter, which may have been the timeline that Jonas was in when he was in the future, when obviously Elizabeth was kind of running it, and she's come back and she's ended up here. She's met Bartosz. They've had a relationship. They've had 2 kids. I can't remember the girl's name. Oh, Agnes. That's it. They had 2 kids, Agnes and Hanno. Now, Hanno's ended up being, you know, what's his name now? Noah, and Agnes has been Agnes. Now, Agnes is a Nielsen, Noah's a Nielsen. Bartosz is not, he's a Tiedemann. This woman, again, was she the young girl that was introduced? Do you remember when we was watching the flashbacks of the episodes where Agnes was staying at at Egon's house, and basically the kids, so it was Claudia and Toronte, they was walking in the woods. Obviously they're like in this little relationship, but Claudia wasn't there, but Toronte was. He basically gave Celia, or whatever that girl was, his mum's bracelet that he was told to give to Agnes. But then, she's Agnes. No, is she not? No, Agnes is a kid. Fucking mad, mate, honestly. Like, think about it, yeah? So, they turned up, they gave him a bracelet, they said, look, mate, you give this to Agnes. Agnes has obviously been disappeared for 3 months. And then if you think about it, if you look at the storyline, Celia's had a kid who's Agnes, and then Agnes has grew up and had a kid who's Toronte, who's actually got it. So you kind of, mate, it is mad that if you think about it. It actually really is. Like, I feel like the storytelling's really good. Trying to put all the pieces, like, I never even thought of any of that up until that moment there where I was trying to, like, put pieces of puzzles together, and I was thinking, bloody hell, mate, do you know what I mean? The way that they cycle through it and attach everybody to everything, it's crazy. And, like, if you look, so obviously Bartosz has had all these kids and his wife died, but then she's returned here with Hannah, and it's Hannah's kid who's married to, well, who had it with Egon, which is crazy as well, you know what I mean? And, like, I feel like it's mad how he's killed his mum, you know, Jonas. He's obviously lost connection towards her, disappeared a long time ago. He's been through so much, you know. She's just another woman, another person. Something that's in his way from stopping, obviously, destroying everything. And she was just an easy target, a sleeping, sitting duck, to be honest, as he went in and grabbed her. I don't know what he'd done with Celia, if I'm being honest as well. Like, he took her, he wanted to show her something, and we didn't really see anything after it. The next person that come into the room was Noah, and he gave him his task, his one final one. So, mate, I'm interested as well. Noah's background, you know, Elizabeth was there, you know, older Elizabeth, future one, and Charlotte come in, snuck in and took the baby, which is interesting. It's like Charlotte taking Charlotte, to be honest. I think they left the watch that said for Charlotte, and obviously he's picked it up, and obviously in the future he's gone and he's give it to Elizabeth, which again's mad. Obviously he's met his future wife as a baby, and then she's going to give it to obviously a mum, and it's gone like full circle. It's pretty crazy. The storytelling's absolutely sick, if I'm being totally honest. It's one massive head scramble, but it's also, I wouldn't say easy, but able to follow and understand. So I can't wait to see how we conclude the show. Honestly, it's going to be exciting, it's going to be good. Thanks for checking out today's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please smash a like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.